The day of my ordination was the 16th of July 2016 in the Year of Mercy called by Pope Francis. And that day was very special for me because it's the feast day of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. And in my diocese we have a shrine in Aylesford where tradition says St. Simon Stock, a Carmelite, received the brown scapula from Our Lady, which is very closely associated with the feast of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. So I saw it as a sign of providence that I was ordained on that day in my diocese of Southwark. The human reason for choosing that day was that for years and years and years it's always the third Saturday of July, because that's when we book the hall next door for the sandwiches. But it just so happened in that year it was the 16th, so I was very delighted. I was at seminary for 7 years before that day, which was a time of great blessings and challenges and growth and mistakes and joy and pain, but a wonderful time. And I was here in Rome for all of that time in this very building, in this church where I prayed during the Mass, during times of adoration and the Rosary and so on. And so when it came to that day of ordination, it was the culmination of that time of formation. And it was wonderful to share it with my fellow seminarians, with another priest, Father Philip, who was with me at seminary here. We were ordained together with another priest, Father Daniel, who trained elsewhere. And a lot of our friends from the seminary came for the day as well. So it was a wonderful moment of fraternity as well as the ordination itself. I arrived back in England just a few days before the ordination because we had the diaconate ordinations of some of our friends a few days before here in Italy, and then we came back a few days before. And my family had done a lot of the preparation for the day itself. The morning, I remember, was wonderful. We stayed the night at the cathedral before the ordination. And the dean of the cathedral said, well, you know, you're not going to get anything to eat today, so have a big English breakfast. So we had a big English breakfast. And then I went off to iron my alb before the ordination, and I managed to break part of the amice, the thing that the priest puts over his shoulders. So I thought, oh no, just today. I broke the handle of it. Anyway, it was okay. And the ordination itself was beautiful. Very prayerful. A good friend of mine vested me, a Jesuit priest I know, who I've known since I was 18, and he works at the Vatican Observatory here in Italy and splits his time between here and Arizona, where their telescope is. So I was delighted he could be there to vest me. And the thing I really remember from the ordination day wasn't so much the ceremony, although that was beautiful. And my nieces brought up the gifts at the offertory, which was beautiful as well. But it was really the blessings after that really struck me. And it was very beautiful to have a moment with individuals, one-on-one, to give them a blessing after the Mass. And that was very moving. And it made me think that that's, in a sense, what the priesthood is, that it's that opportunity to have a personal encounter with Christ through a human being chosen for that purpose. And of course, yes, the people were getting a blessing from me, but really they were getting a blessing from Christ through me. And then I remember the afternoon before I went to the party, which was beautiful because there were people from every stage of my life there, family, friends, from school, university, seminary. It was wonderful. I suppose it's one of those rare occasions where all of the different aspects of your life are represented, which was fantastic. But before that, I was able to pray a bit in the room where I'd stayed the night before the ordination. And it was a very blessed time of prayer. And I remember in that room, it's one of the guest rooms at Cathedral, there's a image of Our Lady on the window, and it's Our Lady of Perpetual Succour. And I was, before that image, praying And it really struck me, sort of thinking of Our Lady, looking out over the diocese through this window. She was going to protect me in my priesthood and pray for the diocese that I was ordained to serve. So that image really struck me, and I took a photo of it, and it's a very treasured photo because it reminds me of that moment of prayer and of Our Lady's guidance for me in my priesthood and in my diocese.